Jim Carrey, from poverty to worldwide fame. Jim Carrey, full name James Eugene Carrey, was born on January 17, 1962, in the small Canadian town of Newmarket, Ontario. He was the youngest of 4 children in the family of Percy and Kathleen Carey. His childhood could not be called happy. The family lived in extreme poverty. Jim's father, Percy Carey, dreamed of a career as a saxophonist, but was forced to work as an accountant to support his family. His mother, Kathleen Neoram, had been a singer in her youth, but left the stage to devote herself to the home and children. She also suffered from hypochondria, mental disorder in which a person constantly attributes symptoms of various illnesses to themselves. Little Jim tried to cheer up his mother by making funny faces and doing impressions. This was how his comedic talent first began to show. When Jim was 12, his father lost his job, and the family found themselves in desperate straits. They had to move to Scarborough, a district of Toronto, where the entire family, parents and 4 children, got jobs at the Titan Wheels factory. Jim worked 8-hour shifts as a security guard, and then mopped floors and cleaned toilets after work. At school, he barely interacted with his peers, was withdrawn, and often fell asleep in class from exhaustion. I hadn't made it in show business. I'd probably still be working at the Dofasco steel mill in Hamilton today. As a kid, I'd look at those workshops and think, this must be the best job ever, the actor later recalled. At one point, the family quit this grueling work and lived in a Volkswagen van, wandering around Canada. Later, his father found work as an accountant at a steel mill, and they settled in Burlington, where Jim spent the next 8 years. Despite the difficult circumstances, Jim dreamed of performing from an early age. At 11, he even sent a letter to Carol Burnett Show offering his comedic services, and was thrilled to receive any response at all. The turning point came when Jim was 15. His father, who supported his son's ambitions, took him to the comedy club Yuck Yucks at Toronto. His first performance was a failure. The audience booed the young comedian. I was practically pelted with rotten eggs, Carrey recalled. But he didn't give up. In 1979, Jim returned to the Ask Yuck Yucks stage with an improved act, and this time, he received a standing ovation. By 1981, he had become the club star, earning money for his performances. Around the same time, he formed a new wave band called Aswoons, despite having no formal music education. After conquering Toronto, the 19-year-old Carrey moved to Los Angeles. There, he was noticed by famous comedian Rodney Dangerfield, who took him on a national tour. After the tour, Jim stayed in Hollywood, dreaming of making it in movies. His first years in Hollywood were tough. Carrey repeatedly tried and failed to get into Saturday Night Live. His film debut came in 1983 with the low-budget movies Rubberface and Copper Mountain. His first leading role was in the 1984 children's series The Duck Factory. The earnings allowed him to bring his parents to Los Angeles, but the show was canceled a year later, leaving Jim on the brink of poverty and depression again. In the following years, he appeared in low-budget films Once Bitten, Peggy Sue Got Married, Earth Girls Are Easy, but none brought him real success. In 1991, his mother passed away, and Jim dedicated his show Jim Carrey's A Natural Act to her. The breakthrough came in 1994 when 3 films starring Carrey were released, turning him into a superstar. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, low-budget comedy in which Jim created the eccentric detective's character, hairstyle, clothing, and mannerisms himself. The film grossed $107 million on a modest budget. The Mask, a fantasy comedy co-starring then-newcomer Cameron Diaz. The film earned $351 million and was nominated for an Oscar. Dumb and Dumber, a cult classic comedy with Jeff Daniels, grossing $247 million. After this, Jim Carrey became one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors. For The Cable Guy 1996, he earned $20 million, an astronomical sum at the time. Despite his success in comedy, Carrey longed to prove himself in dramatic roles. In 1998, he starred in The Truman Show, a philosophical drama about a man whose life turns out to be a reality show. Critics praised his performance, and the film grossed $260 million. Carrey won a Golden Globe for this role. In 1999, he portrayed comedian Andy Kaufman in the biographical film Man on the Moon, earning another Golden Globe. Another defining role was in the sci-fi romance Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind 2004 with Kate Winslet. Critics called it one of Carrey's best performances. His personal life was tumultuous. He was married twice, to Melissa Womer 1987 to 1995, with whom he had a daughter, Jane. The divorce cost him $7 million. To actress Lauren Holly 1996. The marriage lasted only 10 months. He also had relationships with Renee Zellweger, Jenny McCarthy 2005 to 2010, and others. But the most tragic was his relationship with Catriona White, who took her own life in 2015 after their breakup. Today, Jim Carrey is a living comedy legend, a two-time Golden Globe winner, and has stars on both Canada's and Hollywood's Walk of Fame. His films Liar Liar, Bruce Almighty, How the Grinch Stole Christmas have become classics. In recent years, he starred as Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 2020 and hinted at retirement in 2022. I could keep going, but I'm taking a break. I like my quiet life. Jim Carrey's story is an inspiring example of how talent, perseverance, and belief in a dream can lift a person from poverty to worldwide fame. As he once said, "You have to solve problems, not drown them in pills."